Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another devlog about my game Bun Bun Bouquets. In this video, I'm starting to follow a GDevelop tutorial, making a player sprite, and a few random things. To start, I followed the first part of the GDevelop tutorial, how to make a Stardew Valley clone. I'm not actually making a direct Stardew Valley clone myself, but there will be things like gardening and such, so the tutorial is a starting point. The first thing you had to do in this tutorial is add an action marker. Think the red square in Stardew Valley when you have a tool enabled. I actually had a hard time with this, and whenever that happens there is one of two things happening. The video is too old, so something doesn't exist, or was combined with something else within the engine, which has happened to me a lot, so I don't actually know what to do because it no longer exists. Or, I am technically following it correctly, but there is something I don't understand or something that I have missed. Or the tutorial expects you to know more, so there are things it doesn't tell you because it expects you to just know to do it. That's the main two things. Either the tutorial is too old or I'm not quite understanding what it's trying to tell me. I always assume either I'm the problem or it's no one's fault. It's just an old tutorial and it's out of date. Because if it works for them, then obviously it's correct. I'm trying to follow this, and I'm still stuck at the first part. I've completely copied this, like I've typed it, but I completely copied it all the way down to make sure everything is 16 by 16. I even made a 16 by 16 sprite on a 16 by 16 grid. And it's supposed to go around all 9 tiles. That's how it looked in the tutorial. And when I play it, it only does 4. But if I move around, then it... Oh, frick. Yeah, if I move around, the tiles kind of change where it goes. And I'm confused as to why that is, because now it's doing all 9 tiles. But, like, it changes where it is. But in the tutorial, it stays in the same, like, spot relative to the thing. Because, see, now it's 4x4. What did I do? Is it, like, the movement? Is the movement? Like, why is it doing that? Because it's not doing that in the tutorial. Like, everything is the same. This gave me a hard time trying to get it to work, though. I got so annoyed, I made a separate scene just to see if it's me or not, to see if it's the scene, because sometimes in GDevelop it just says absolutely not to a scene, and I have no idea why, so I go to make another scene just to see if it works. I even played around in Stardew Valley to see if I'm remembering how it works within Stardew. I did end up figuring out the problem. Basically, I was having it snap to a grid, and I had to change the action marker's origin point, but I was not aware that you also have to do that for the player as well. The tutorial did not explicitly say that, so I think it's one of those moments where they expected you to assume that you're supposed to do it with all the objects, but I don't assume most things because I don't know how to do much yet. So it just took me screwing around for a bit, but I got it. I got it working now and it mostly works. It's a little buggy, it's not perfect, but it mostly works, so we'll take mostly works for now. I'm not concerned on making everything perfect while making the game loop. I just need the game loop to work, and then we can tune it and fix it up and make it more efficient and all that later. I just need to know that it works instead of trying to do every little thing perfect at the start when you might have to change it anyway. So I'm not worried about it. I got it to work for now. We can fix it later. Hopefully by then I'll have more knowledge and I'll just know how to fix it and it'll be great. The next thing I did was make a player character. At the time of me making this player character, I had just gotten a sprite and I wanted to play with it. So I started working on player movement sprites. It was actually pretty simple to do and I really love how they turned out. I'm a bit better at the program than I was when I made this. And I'll probably end up changing the sprites over time anyway, so the player might change. I guess I can also talk about my inspiration for this design. My grandmother, may she rest in peace, had a white bunny garden statue with a blue bow. At least my memory he had a blue bow. And she called him Benjamin Bunny. I think that's a reference to a Beatrix Potter book. I'm not positive. So I can't name him that because of copyright. but I'm trying to come up with a canon name for him. So the base look is inspired by my late grandma and this little garden statue that she had. Okay, ignore that, that's my cat scratching my chair. So I fixed the grid. I added an idle animation for the front. I still have to do like all the other angles. And now when you walk into it, it doesn't do the thing. I say you have to click. Kind of a little not perfect. I need to make the clicking better. Okay, and it used to be you walk into this and it will pause and freak it out. I have to fix the order and stuff for all this. Now if you click on it, it takes you and brings you back. My boyfriend's watching the live stream, that's why the sound is. And I want to make it where you walk into this and it'll change over, but for now it's a click. I made picking flowers an external event, the player movement an external event, and I also made this an external event so that I can link it to each one, so I have to code it for each scene. I can just link it, and it's working good so far. The player movement and everything works, the action works, picking the flowers work. So yeah, I would like to add a clothing shop later, but that's a far future goal. Right now we're just learning how to make the base game work. So for now, his base design is based off of the garden statue. The next thing I did is make a set of sprites for the growth cycle so I can follow the gardening part of the tutorial. That'll be the next video, but I made the sprites ahead of time. I also changed the bunny house to look less derpy. That also will probably change in the future because I want it to be bigger. Alrighty. Let's just talk about some of the stuff that I've done. So for one, we've changed the animation. I gave it a front and a side and a up, I've done like a full 4 angles. The sides will probably get changed. Honestly, everything might get changed. Have you seen what Stardew Valley used to look like? So I probably will change all of this. But I changed this. I gave this an animation, not an animation cycle, but like each plant's gonna get one of these: a seed, a sprout, seedling, bud, bloom. And a fun thing about GDevelop is if you give everything the same name, so let's say I make 20 flowers, right? And all of them have the same names for each animation, even though it's one frame, it will work. So over here in the picking flowers external event, which I have a bunch of external events, so that way I don't have to program it multiple times. It's done once and you just link it in each scene and then you do what's specific for the scene. In the picking flowers thing, if the animation of flowers, which is a group, so all the flowers are in it, if the animation is set to bloom, then I can pick it up, it'll delete, and it'll do all of this with the global variable. So this will kind of change because I have to make a variable for each flower because it has to count per flower you've picked. But this is player movement. I'm trying to get it where the angled movement will work, and it's not to walk diagonally, but to get animation to play when you walk diagonally. Think about when you're playing Stardew Valley and you're walking diagonally, but you're still walking like one specific direction because it doesn't have diagonal sprite. I'm trying to get to do that, and it's fighting back, so I haven't gotten that to work yet. I've changed the house. I made the logs sprite for the GDevelop how to make a Stardew Valley clone video, because I want to follow that. That's why I made one of these, so I can practice that. I still need to learn how to make a hoe to be able to hoe an area and all kinds of other stuff, but yeah. I also figured out how to see if I do this. See, that's a placeholder, and it should be animating a frame, and it's not working, but that's not what we're here to show. So before, I would have it where I would walk into this and it would move me to the next room. Now I can click on it and go back, and it doesn't get stuck in an endless loop of opening and closing. This here is going to completely change into being an actual like room. Like it'll be like a little flower pot or something in the middle, and then you'll like drag and drop your flowers with a UI over here or something, and it'll have like a background. It'll be a whole new thing. I do want to reuse this because I like it, and I would like to maybe have clothes, like a little clothing shop. You can buy clothes for your little character. So I might reuse this for like a shirt or something because I do like it. But yeah, we have this so far. I also have this little marker thing. So that's fun. I'm gonna learn how to do the Z ordering thing, so it'll be you walk in the front and then in the back. Right now it's just whatever's in whatever order, but I'm gonna fix all of that in a tutorial that I found. It's a different RPG tutorial from GDevelop themselves. They have a lot of pretty good tutorials. I wish they had more, but also I'm aware how hard it is to make a tutorial. I used to make how to draw tutorials for a while, so I get it. I will be redrawing the trees, but I do like that there's different colored trees, so I'm gonna do that. Not just because that's what Stardew Valley did. I actually like that it has like a cherry blossom look, and then this here. There will be multiple areas. There's gonna be like a town center. There's gonna be a forest. I don't think I'll do like a beach or anything, but I like to have at least one more area. And since this is talking animals, I can literally just make a mushroom forest if I want. I don't know. I could do it. And that is it for this devlog. I'll be talking about fixing the Z order, making plants grow, playing with adding tools and stuff in the next devlog. So if you're interested in all of that, and if this game is interesting to you, please like and subscribe, share, and comment. Get as many eyes on this as possible. I would love to be able to have this be a mild success. I'm not expecting Stardew Valley status. And yeah, I will see you all in the next devlog, and see you all later. Have a great rest of your day. Bye!